Hey kid, you like action? You like Ushapti? Then you're gonna love this battle, cause oh my god, it's Reptilicus, and we've got a battle between Black Thorn on the High Elves and Charlatan, also known as Captain Tellus, on the Tomb Kings. So what are the win conditions for these two armies here? On the Tomb Kings side, let's try to take a guess. Ushapti, 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 and no, I'm not gonna say it again, and Chariots. Effective usage of these two units will basically determine how the battle is gonna go. On the High Elven side, we've got Fireborn, Thorn, two Phoenixes, Archmage of Fire, you already know the drill. Fire damage hard counters Tomb Kings, extremely hard in fact. The infantry is not even a factor, no matter what the High Elves bring, they will destroy the Tomb Kings, so how will the actual battle go? Let's watch and find out. It's gonna be pretty intense, that's all I can promise, as with all battles here. Now, Ushapti already see a good target, and the target is the Phoenix. Phoenix is fantastically flexible, they can snipe characters on the Tomb Kings, they can destroy infantry, they can do great against chariots, a high priority target no matter what. And speaking of chariots, are they actually gonna crash into the Rangers here? They look like they're gonna, but no, at the last second they decide not to because they have no support and the White Lions are gonna chop them up to pieces, and we're seeing some magic. Okay, I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, and let's look what's about to happen. We've got a fireball from the Archmage, we've got Shem's Burning Gaze that's gonna clip through the skeletons, and it's still chasing after the original targets. It's gonna connect with the Tomb Prince, one of the bolts, fireball, and we've got an Overcast Spirit Leech hitting the Tomb Prince at the same time. And it also did a little bit of splash to Archon. How do you recover from this? That's so much damage at the cost of a little bit of health from overcasting. Meanwhile, the Ushapti see a great target, and the Ushapti are gonna be peppering the Archmage of Fire from now on with their bolts. Fantastic choice, we need the fire taken away. On the other side, the infantry actually sees the chariots not moving, and so they charge them, and the chariots see that now, they react away. Thorn firing at Ushapti, not a great target because Ushapti are just practically immune to their damage, but here we see chariots actually getting a rear charge on White Lions. Fantastic move. If the White Lions are eliminated, it's gonna make life so much easier for the Tomb Kings. And speaking of elimination, let's take a look at tactical now. The left flank is crumbling hard, the general is being sniped by the Ushapti, the Archmage of Fire is practically almost off the field of battle. On the right flank we see chariots crashing through the already engaged Rangers, they're gonna do so much damage. The High Elves are obviously destroying the infantry fight, that's not even a question, we're not even questioning that. But the Tomb Kings combined arms usage now is what's gonna determine this. The Archmage of Fire keeps getting sniped, even though she's a smaller target because she's not on a dragon or eagle, whatever, it's still, she's just taking so much damage, and the Ushapti are just fantastic archers. The Fireborn are getting ready to go into position, they still haven't seen much usage. We see a Spirit Leech go down, along with some bolts from the Ushapti, and this is going to be the end of the Archmage of Fire. A pretty sad end to a pretty sad character. Meanwhile, we've had the Sepulchral Stalkers brought into fire. These guys are fantastic flexible units. They can shoot great, they can do great in melee against large targets, okay against infantry depending on the matchup, and we see the Snipe Squad chasing Archon. Now, let me be honest with you, Archon is great, but two Phoenixes versus Archon, I'll always put my money on the birds. Not just because I love birds, but because, you know, it is the truth. Here we actually see the infantry fight still being in the Elven favor, nothing much that can change there, it is what it is. But we also see the Skeleton Warriors being summoned on top of the Archers of Thorn, which are moving away, great move. That unit can cause so much damage, and getting it like bogged down is a great move. Speaking of which, we see the Ushapti also being summoned here on top of the Fireborn, but they're gonna be able to disengage right on time. Fireborn are just crushing the chariots, they're not doing much else. They need to maneuver. They cannot get bogged down versus all the good stuff Tomb Kings have. They need to kill the chariots, and here it looks like they're actually gonna be getting a charge into the chariots, but wait a moment, they got Fate of Biuna cast on them, so they stop and they start taking massive damage from the Fate of Biuna. Meanwhile, two chariot units are charging head on and they're about to get supported by skeletons. As you can see, this unit of Fireborn is getting absolutely destroyed because of that. Let's go back to slow-mo and take a look at the rest of the battle. The right flank is basically destroyed. The Rangers are killing Spearmen without any issue. We've got White Lions chasing away Ushapti. Archon is kiting away, the other Ushapti are repositioning. Chariots are still decently healthy enough. The Tomb Kings control the center and the left side of the battle map without a doubt. The Phoenixes are still healthy enough, even if they get focused. They have a trump card up their sleeve, they can definitely regen, and you know how that one's gonna go, so let's go back to the battle. Ushapti got caught by the great weapon White Lions, and that's not good for them. These are bow Ushapti, they're not gonna do the best in melee, still possible, but not enough. Swordmaster here of Hoef is gonna get charged, he's gonna get bogged down, he's gonna get destroyed. Let's take a look at the Fireborn. The Fireborn didn't actually get killed off despite the fantastic fate of Buna and the Chariots, and obviously the Fireborn are gonna return with a countercharge of their own. They're gonna get into the Chariots and they're going to do so much damage here. One of the Tomb King's win conditions is getting destroyed by this badly mangled unit of noble sons of Ulthuan. Yeah, can you imagine? I can. One of the Phoenixes is getting routed because of Sepulchral Stalkers and Ushapti on it. Will it come back? That's time to see. Infantry is fighting. Infantry is getting destroyed on the Tomb King side. As soon as the Rangers connect, there's not much to do. Sepulchral Stalkers just wasting their ammo basically here. Better save it for Phoenixes. And we got Archon and the Tomb Prince holding hands, as they always should, because of the Tomb Prince aura getting into the Rangers. Rangers are not gonna do too hot here. And we see Ushapti continuing the snipe game. Now, if they kill the Phoenix, there's a chance something might happen. Will it happen? Well, we're gonna have to see, but now they swap their target priority to the Fireborn. Fantastic. This is practically the only win condition on the field for the High Elves besides the Phoenixes. All of them are badly mangled. This needs to happen, and this needs to happen now as they charge into Chariots. It's not exactly a charge, but they're still connecting the models in melee and they're winning. Phoenixes are trying to snipe the characters, but currently it's not possible. Let's go back into slow-mo and let's take a look at tactical. So the Ushapti got chased to the edge of the map, but they're returning fire now on the White Lions from the back. They're gonna take massive casualties. The right side of the Tomb Kings completely obliterated. They're only holding on in the center here with a little character hug mode, trying to protect from the Phoenix destruction. On the other side, the Fireborn are fighting against the Spoiler Stalkers and alongside another Phoenix. They should be able to win that fight, but the Phoenix is about to die, and something beautiful may or may not happen. Well, you know what? It's actually gonna happen. The Phoenix got leeched, the Phoenix got shot, but the Phoenix rose from the ashes, from the fire. It's back, and now it's actually connecting to Archon. Look how dangerously close Archon is to dying here. He just needs a couple of hits from the Phoenix to die. He has no way to regen, and he manages to actually get out of the battle. That's great for him, but what's not good for the Phoenixes is that they're fighting Stalkers and they're fighting Ushapti. Yeah. It's not good, but at least they managed to run away. On the other side, the Rangers are starting to move here. They're probably gonna try to connect. The Fireborn got routed off. It's looking really messy. Any side can win at this point. The Phoenixes are just doing so much damage. Look at the Tomb Prince. One hit is taking away so much from him. And the Chariots are trying to support, but the Chariots are not really going to do much into that matchup. Now the White Lions get a fantastic rear charge onto the Sepulchral Stalkers, but the charge actually gets screwed over because the Tomb Prince popped Curse of Juff, which made them go rampage, and now they're turning against the Skeleton Spearmen instead of going after their intended target. That was a fantastic Curse of Juff. Now, we see the Sepulchral Stalkers fighting the Phoenix. This is not good for the Phoenix. It's definitely gonna die. It's being sniped by the Ushapti with great bows. Meanwhile, the White Lions of Krace are fighting the summoned Skeleton Warriors. That's not even a question. Like, we don't even care about that, really. And we see the Ushapti still firing at the Phoenix, the unit that came back. Now, this Phoenix is also gonna rebirth here. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it got reborn, but it's routing. It's routing off the field. Meanwhile, Fireborn, even with free models, they're still trying to fight. A unit of Chariots has also been killed. That's great, but will it be enough to actually seal the deal? No, they're shattering. The Fireborn are off the field. The Great Bow Ushapti are running from the Rangers and White Lions. Chariots are trying to clean them up. This is not looking good for the High Elves here, honestly. Let's go to tactical. If the Phoenixes can snipe Archon, this is game over. The one Phoenix remaining is extremely healthy, but it's about to rout, and it's got a Spirit Leech on it. I think at this point it's pretty much safe to say that this is a Tomb King game, without a doubt. Dushapti are running, Archon is staying here, but these white lions are basically a non-factor, especially when the Sepulchres are gonna come in. Yeah, this is pretty much a victory for the Tomb Kings. This remaining 2 infantry units are not gonna do anything. Okay, it's time to take a look at the most crucial parts of the battle, what made victory come in the way of the Tomb Kings. The High Elven magic was extremely deadly to characters, and even though it was on the battlefield for such a short amount of time, it really did a lot of work. If the mage was kept alive, this could have completely turned over the battle. Great chariot usage definitely played a part in the Tomb King's victory. They managed to obliterate the High Elf infantry, which in turn was obliterating the Tomb King's infantry. They managed to even bog down the Fireborn for a bit, which was also one of the reasons why they won. Despite all the issues they ran into during the game, and despite not being at peak performance, the Fireborn still did fantastic, and they were definitely one of the reasons why the High Elves could even, match the Tomb Kings this game. Torquelida are a very expensive archer unit, and they're capable of demolishing any light armored infantry, as is the case with Tomb Kings, but they were used against the worst possible target, Dushapti. To make it even worse, this unit that could have definitely helped carry the battle got a unit of Tomb Blade Skeletons summoned on it and practically tied it down for most of the game before it died. Unlucky. Phoenix did great this game. They were so helpful in trying to take out Archon and the Tomb Prince, and they did a lot of damage to the other units in the Tomb King's army. And they also managed to tank out quite a bit thanks to the Rebirth. All in all, a great unit, and with just a little bit more luck, they would have killed the Tomb King's leadership and taken away the game. An extremely clutch Curse of Joff saved the Stalkers from getting annihilated by White Lions, because they turned around and went after basic skeletons, and thus a great move. The Ushapti were extremely important for the Tomb King victory. They were always firing at the correct targets, they eliminated all the major threats, all in all flawless use, which definitely guaranteed a victory. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, that was an intense battle. There was so much going on in that battle, it was absolutely crazy. Okay, let's start with the Tomb Kings. Archon did fantastic this game. He was broad budget, on a horse, Spirit Leech, Fate of Buna. He did fantastic this game. He came dangerously close to dying, but he lived, Tomb Kings won, that's all that matters. Tomb Prince, he didn't really do damage, but here's the deal. When you're bringing a Tomb Prince on a horse, you're either going to be in an anti-large role, or you're just permanently hugging your lord for the Guardian aura, which is damage reduction. You definitely want that. Tomb Prince, still good this game. Skeletons, not much to expect really. Most of the skeletons were mediocre, but some of them, like this spear unit, managed to more than pay for themselves, which is great. Now, chariots were the real MVPs, just look at the damage values. For the most part, they returned the cost, they did tremendous damage to the High Elven infantry. Basically, when you're playing with chariots on the Tomb Kings, you're not playing it wrong, because they're definitely a win condition. Ushapti, the numbers speak more than I could ever say. They sniped the Lord. They sniped the Phoenixes, they sniped Fireborn, they were constantly firing at the correct targets. They did not care about the High Elven Archer unit, they did not care about the gajillion infantry units, they only cared about the win conditions, and they performed it flawlessly. Good job to Charlatan on that one. Sepulchral Stalkers, fantastic value. This unit is a bit of a wild card. You don't see it brought all the time with Tomb Kings, but honestly, it's such a good unit if used correctly. It's so multi-purpose. I would say honestly, this can be an auto-include. Great job on the unit. On the High Elven side, yeah. This was one of the win conditions for the High Elves. If the Archmage was somehow kept alive, if she managed to do her damage, we could have honestly seen a much different story. The faction wars could have been flipped, the High Elves could have won, but it is what it is. Loremaster did fine. You can't really expect him to excel against such an army comp. His snipe spells were good, however, but it wasn't enough to seal the deal. When it comes to the High Elven Infantry, obviously they performed fantastic against the Tomb Kings. Like, most of them did not pay for their costs because they were just fighting hordes of skeletons, but the White Lions were also fighting a bit of Ushapti and chariots, so they did manage to actually pay back. Tor Kalita, complete waste of money in this game due to one single fact. They were trying to skirmish fight with Ushapti. They have so much armor, and these guys are basically meant to shred lightly armor targets. Complete waste of a unit. Now the Fireborn did amazing. I'm not even gonna hide that fact. Fireborn were fighting all the correct targets, they were constantly focused as well, and considering everything in this battle, Fireborn did amazing, as always. Phoenixes, honestly, like, one of them did great value, one of them not so much, but overall Phoenixes were very effective. They came so close to killing Archon, sadly didn't kill him, but it is what it is. Correctly used, Phoenixes are just like crazy against Tomb Kings. In this battle, they came close to doing their original job, but it is what it is. They failed, the Tomb Kings prevailed, and this was a great battle. Good game to Charlatan and the Black Thorn. We've got more content coming right up, so stay tuned, and until the next time, cheer for Tomb Kings because Tomb Kings are awesome? Yeah, Tomb Kings are awesome.